Welcome to GMST Solutions Private Limited Digital Learning. So in the part of how to crack full stack Java interviews, the question number 10. So what is static block and instance block in Java? So where we can go for the static block, where we can go for the instance block. The simple way to implement the static and instance block using example. And so what is expected output? So in interview point of view, they will ask. So this is a syntax. So what is expected output? So how you can judge and give the correct output. So let's see the code and get the more knowledge on the what is the static and instance block. And so you guys wants to join live sessions. So full stack Java engineer, full stack Java the cloud and DevOps, and internship on the full stack Java and Angular, React, the cloud and DevOps. So please join our live sessions and tackle your full stack Java interview with a good package. So minimum 10 to 15 as a 1 plus or 2 plus or 3 plus. For freshers, minimum 8 lakh package you can expect. Okay, so let's start the code. See, here I am taking the simple class. So you can take any class name. I'm taking the customer. So you guys knows what is the constructor. The constructor is nothing but same name as the class name. Public customer. Default constructor. The same name as the class name is a constructor, and there is no return statement for the customer, the constructors. And here I'm taking the simple message for understanding constructor. And in the same class I have the instance block in the sense there is no keyword for that, directly just open the brace and close it, that is instance block. So what is use of the instance block? If you have any instance properties, if you want to initialize the object creation time, so we'll use the instance block, that is non-static or instance variables data. If you want to initialize instance data while creating the object creation time, before creating the default constructor, it will execute first. And static block is nothing but so one-time memory allocation, the common requirements. Example, we have the database connections. Instead of creating the multiple object creation, one time only we can create and we'll get the service to the our utilization. So one-time memory allocation purpose, and static data, static variables, if you want to initialize, you will use a static block. The static block loads at compile time only and allocates one-time memory allocation. So the common requirements. So instance is the specific requirement, and instance data we can initialize here. So while creating the object, it will execute. So before going to execute the constructor, it will execute. So just I'm giving the message instance block, it is static block. See, one constructor is there, one instance block is there, static block is there. And I am not calling the any blocks here specifically. So what is the expected output? So what is the expected output? If you have the main method, if you don't have the main method any messages here, you can just create the object for the default constructor. What is expected output? So it is a default output for this execution. See, getting the object for the customer class, and inside that class we have the one default constructor and instance block and static block. So if I execute these lines of code, what is the expected output? Okay, so you can imagine and think in your brain and see the output. Okay, so my point of view, I'm giving the execution flow is the first static block, it will loads at compile time only, and before going to execute your the constructor, it will execute the instance block, then constructor. So means first static and instance, then constructor. So this is the output. static, instance and constructor. So the execution output is the first, second and third. Static block, class loading time only it will executes. Instance block, before going to call your constructor, the static block will the instance block will execute, then the default constructor will execute. Okay, this is the flow. And if we have any other constructor chaining, so we can say that is a constructor chaining or calling the another constructor from one constructor. So we have the default constructor. From default constructor to I'm calling parameters constructor. So here I'm giving the simple message. Okay, so parameterize constructor. So how to call the constructor to constructor? We have this keyword, the current class. So where we have the single argument, integer constructor is there inside our class, it will calls that single argument integer argument constructor. So this is integer argument value. If we give any other values, you will get the compile time error. There is no matching constructor in our class. So that's the reason I'm saying single argument integer argument constructor is there, that constructor it will calls. This is nothing but current class and current location. Now what is the output now? So now what is the expected output? Think in your brain, take time and imagine. Okay, so my output is static block, instance block, and then parameterized constructor output, and then default constructor output, because we are calling the line number 7 parameters constructor will execute and coming back to the your default constructor. Next you will get the 8th line output, that is 4th. Check it, say am I correct or wrong? Static, instance, parameterized and default constructor. So 3 and 4. So this is a simple static and instance block, and how to call the constructor from another constructor. And if you want to see the few lines I'm giving here, so for a confirmation I have the int, so pin code or pin number or int ATM pin. So this ATM pin number I am calling inside the instance block, so there is no issue. Yes, instance variable directly we can call it, no issue. But if we call ATM pin inside the static block, you will get the compile time error, because it is non-static instance property. We cannot call directly to the static block, we have to use object, then only we can call. So it is compile time error. And if you have the static property, any static property you can take, either int pin code, it is common data. See, that is if you give the static keyword, that is a static property. So I can call directly the static property inside the static block, there is no issue. So no error. So static to static directly we can call and we can utilize, and instance to instance directly we can call, we can utilize. So the common data we can use inside the static block, one-time memory allocation. So any database connections, so any common data, no need to go for the multiple memory allocation. So common requirements everyone they can utilize without taking again and again memory space. And instance, where is the specific data, where is the, so instance data if you want to initialize, you will go for the instance block, it will execute before executing the constructors. How many times you are getting the object for your class, that many times it will execute. Example, I created the only one time object creation. If we create the one more time object creation, customer obj equal to new customer, obj1 and obj2. So 2 times I'm creating the object. So 2 times it will call the instance block and your default constructor and parameters constructor. So how many times you create, that means it will execute the your instance block and constructors. You can see static is only one time. There is no more than once execution. You can check it. Center execution output. There is no static. Only one time execution is a static block, and a multiple execution. How many times you are calling your constructor, that means it will call executes your instance block. Creating object is nothing but calling your instance block each and every time. So it is multiple times. It is single time, single one. So this is simple static block and instance block. Please observe the code clearly. If you have any questions or any queries in this code, you can drop your question in comment box. We'll discuss clearly. So this is question number 10. So once again, so thanks for watching you guys and supporting me. So please check it, all the videos. We have the 10 questions. So please all the videos. And if you are not understanding, you can write a mail or you can write a comments in comment box. We'll discuss in detailed manner. And if you want to join our batches, upcoming batches, you can join. So always welcome. Thank you for watching.